Good morning. Happy Monday. Let's make sure this is all working well. Check, 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 check. Yeah, we're good to go. All right. Well, hope you all had a great weekend. And welcome to the Fed Pivot. If you have not been paying attention to the news with the Silicon Valley Bank, we're in for a treat. Good morning, Amin. Happy new week. Joining you from Kenya. Peter, welcome, welcome. Happy to have you. Alrighty. Well, let's get this party started. News events today. We don't have any planned news events, but I guarantee you there's going to be something going on today about what's been going on with the bank situation. So if you haven't been paying attention, the Silicon Valley Bank is going bust, and they don't have enough money to pay off all of the depositors. And so basically the Fed had to do an emergency meeting yesterday and decide, hey, do we bail this bank out or do we just let it go under? And they decided to bail the bank out, so they're going to guarantee all of the deposits. And how are they going to pay for those deposits? Well, probably going to print money, which will cause a deflation in the dollar. And they are now, there's like a very, very, very slim chance they are actually going to hike rates in March as expected. They're expected to do a 50 basis point hike, and now it's 0. And so Fed pivot, here we are. The terminal rate has plunged from September at 5.7% to June at 5.15%. And the expectations for rate cuts in Q2 are soaring. So there's a lot of headlines out there. This is going to cause a big change in the markets moving forward. So definitely now's the time as a trader to adapt to the markets and pay attention to what fundamentals we're getting and I guess they're providing to us. And so definitely monitor the situation and be adaptive, because this could cause a lot of change in market conditions moving forward. And so let's hop on into the market analysis. So play technicals, because really, I mean, you could predict fundamentals all you want, but just technicals will end up confirming. So looking at the dollar here, monthly chart, nice bullish engulfing last month, but we also had that engulfing at the 50% retracement. Current month retracing a little bit. Weekly chart. Weekly chart retested this monthly area. So this area right here has been a pretty strong area of resistance and contention for the Dixie in the past, and as well as a pretty strong weekly pivot point. So this 103,700 is going to be the buyers in control above this area. So if we want to see buys in the Dixie, has to remain above 103,700. And the current weekly candlestick, which is, I guess, today, came down. It actually gapped down, dipped pretty far, and then it retested this monthly level. And you can see on the daily, retest this level, and now we're getting bought up. So I am bullish the dollar above this 103,700 level. If we break below, different story. Currently in an active breakout. So if you take a look at these lower highs being put in, we just broke through this previous lower high, now making a higher high. And so from there, we got our retracement sitting at the 38.2% retracement. So this is an area that I expect the dollar to get bought. So just broke through the lows from Friday, and we just reclaimed those lows And so looking at the dollar, I'd like to see bullish price action. So I'm going to be watching these highs for a potential gap fill, and then maybe higher. And then I want to notice that, okay, maybe we come down and then we continue higher. However, regardless, I'm bullish on the Dixie until we break below 1037. So I will be playing buys on the dollar, looking for this gap fill from overnight, or I guess over the weekend. Moving on to the equities. Equities, you know, it's funny because I was looking for sells in the equities, and technically it still looks like really nice sells. However, fundamentally, with this new situation where the Fed is potentially just pivoting here, that's going to be bullish for the equities. And again, like I said, bearish for the dollar. So we'll see. I mean, I'm not going to make any assumptions, or I'm going to just trade the chart until it decides it wants to confirm. So looking at the Dow, nice monthly chart, had a rejection, starting to push bearish. Looking at the weekly chart, 200 moving average is just south of price action. Last week closed bearish, very strong below this previous area of support. Daily chart sitting right below the 200 moving average, seems to be a lid right here. It's also this area where we broke down. And very clean price action looking left once we break through this zone. So we're sitting in this consolidation for the day so far. Lows and highs, 31.7 and 32.3. However, looking at plays for the day, markets price action is like right in the middle. It's actually starting to pull back a little bit. So what I'd look for is either buys against a retest for a push to the point of control, or if it doesn't retest on the 15 or 30 minute chart, except it's still really, really early. I'm not going to trade this early. So then at this point, I might look for sells as we approach the 32,200 area on the Dow. So again, I'm not going to trade the equities until at least later in the day, 8:30, 9 o'clock. And a lot could happen from there. So regardless, just know that we're in this range from 31.8 to 32.3. And so I'll buy above, sell below. If we're still in this range, I'll buy against support or sell against resistance. So we'll just have to see where we're at. Looking at gold. Gold weekly chart. Last 2 weeks have been bullish with a nice rejection to the downside. A daily chart leaving us with this double bottom at this previous breakout. Running into some exhaustion and rejection back from beginning of February. Very clean price action through this rejection up towards 1920. Or to the downside back to the retest point of 1855. This area right here. So taking a look at the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart running into this rejection zone. 1 hour showing a nice double top rejection here as well. So I prefer to see sells at this rejection with this double top, especially if we can get that stronger Dixie. We do have a double bottom and support found at 1872. Very, very, very tight range here. I mean, it's just very tight in here. So what I'll look for is potentially a push to retest this resistance again, 1890, and then find a lower high and short off of that to the lows. Or if it just consolidates around here, and doesn't give us that, I'll look for a break and retest of 1880 for a push down towards 1872. So we're in this range. I'm just going to look for a take profit back at this double bottom here from the overnight session. All right, taking a look at oil. Oil daily chart in a range right now. 4-hour chart at this double bottom, but closed very, very bearish. So looking for a retest of this resistance at 76.20. So I like it for sells as we start approaching this 76.15 area, coming closer to the downsloping VWAP, and then look for that sell-off back down to lows. Yeah, so I like oil sells in this area. Moving on to currencies. Pound yen. Right now, it's in this just nasty range. Let me clear off some of these drawings here. We have this resistance at 164, support at 161. Coming back down into this zone where we had broken out from. So pound yen looking to 1 hour sells are potentially in play. If we can get a little bit farther of a retracement from this breakdown. Not sure we get that though. We're seeing a nice retracement to fill this wick on the 2 hour. However, regardless if we get it or not, all I'm going to be looking for pound yen is a retracement towards 161.750, and then I'll look for that sell-off back down towards these lows, sitting right around 160.400. I'll keep an eye on it around 161.750, but VWAP sitting right around 162.100. So I'll keep an eye on making. I just want to see where price action decides it wants to reject for the sells. Pound AUD weekly chart sitting right at this weekly 200 moving average, sitting right below. Also, this pretty strong rejection point on the weekly chart. Daily chart sitting at this double top now, or I guess however many tops this is, but I guess in theory it's a double top. So looking for sells. 4-hour chart rejected this resistance and now getting sold off. We're now seeing these lower highs. Yeah, so sells look nice on pound AUD. If I can get a retracement back towards VWAP, back towards this previous area of resistance, then I look for a sell-off. Back down to these lows at 1.80700. That's right around the point of control as well at 1.8200. Pound USD. Weekly chart running into a lot of resistance, a lot of exhaustion here, point of control. Daily chart running into a big rejection zone as well. 4-hour chart, triple top. So looking for a sell-off here on pound USD. And that would go in line with the potential bullish dollar that I'm looking for technically. Hourly chart still has its gap to fill. However, I want to see probably a retracement back up towards the VWAP. And then I'll look for sells right in this area here. Now just look for a pushback down towards 1.20200, which is that gap fill. So it'll look something like this, assuming it doesn't just go right down to fill that gap. If I don't get this retracement, then it'll probably be a no trade on pound USD for me today. Unless we can decide to break through these lows and then do something like that. But we'll see. Let's add an alert. AUD USD weekly chart at this previous area of support, now resistance. Daily chart pushing bullish off these lows, but again running into an area of resistance. 4 hour putting in these nice lower highs, this trend line here that we now just retested overnight. Had a nice bearish close. Now we're pushing bearish from that area here. So sells look decent. I consider sells on a retest of this break of 0.66550. Look for something like this to then go down and fill that gap. AUD JPY, a weekly chart at very, very heavy support. Daily chart, very strong support. 4 hour potential double bottom with the rejection wicks. 1 hour clean range to the upside here. 30 minute, 15 minutes. So ideally what we get is like some type of retracement for then a continuation to the upside. Something like this. Add an alert. I'm going to keep an eye on this 88,800 area. This is right around the close of last week's candle. USD CAD. Last week closed pretty bullish. Current week came down, retested this breakout, and now pushing higher. Daily chart looking the same. Retest this breakout here. Is now getting bought up. So buys are clean. I'd like to get another retest. Create another higher low before we then continue up. Still have that gap to fill right around here, but I think we can get a push higher. USD JPY weekly chart. Last 3 weeks have been started pushing bearish, but at a previous pretty strong area of support from August of last year. Daily chart potentially running into some support. A 4 hour chart, had these ascending lows, just broke through Friday, and now we're continuing that descent. At an area that we've gotten area of contention where we had some buying come into play. Not a huge fan of trading USD JPY today. It's kind of diverging across the market as far as you have UCAD bullish, AUD USD bullish, AUD USD bearish, GBP USD bearish. So we're seeing a lot of potential bullish price action in the Dixie, and if USD JPY still looking pretty bearish. So because this is diverging across from everything else in the market, I'm not going to play this one today. Euro GBP just in a trash range, not interested. Euro AUD though, we are sitting here at this very strong area of resistance on the daily chart. A 4 hour chart showing signs of rejection here. So I'd like to see sells on Euro AUD. We'll just have to see what it gives us, whether we break through the support and we retest for sells, or it potentially comes up higher for then another lower high rejection for then sells. So we'll keep an eye on both the break of the low and the break of this high here for potential sells on Euro AUD. And it's something to note that Bitcoin over the weekend had a very, very large run, which is going to mean potentially risk on. You see the daily from Saturday and Sunday started ramping up here after this pretty steep sell-off. So risk on right now with strong Bitcoin. So if risk is on, safe havens potentially weak. So we're seeing fundamentally in Bitcoin potential weak dollar. But again, let technicals lead the way, because they will eventually then price in fundamentals. Awesome. That's it, guys. Starting my challenge account today. We're going to be doing the new series and be trading. Be sharing my MT5, going through my challenge account, and explaining how I pass challenges and all that. So if you're interested in looking to trade with us, VantTradingForex.com. I'm going to hop off on Zoom now and trade with my fellers. And yeah, it's going to be it. Have a good rest of your day, guys. Safe trading, and I will see you tomorrow.